You guys, welcome back to the Patreon. I have some things that I want to discuss with you guys. And first and foremost, you see how no one gives a fuck about Kevin Samuels anymore? You see what? There are people who have died who are social media people, and people still call back to those people. You see how no one talks about Kevin Samuels and he only been dead 2 weeks. You see how what you leave behind matters. You see how nobody cares because there'll be another nigga talking shit on the internet the next day. But let's move on. I want to talk about Marvel juice. Marvel stans versus Marvel antis, because both of y'all annoy me. Marvel stans and Marvel antis both annoy me. Let's get on into it. Okay, so I am a proud member of the Black Widow was a good movie militia. I think Black Widow was a good movie. But every time you see someone talk shit about Marvel, they talk about the CGI in Black Widow. She-Hulk just got announced, the show She-Hulk. They talked about the CGI. They talked about the CGI in Doctor Strange. The Marvel antis love to harbor on the CGI in Marvel movies. And I'm here to tell you no one cares. I am here to tell you nobody cares if the CGI in Marvel movies are bad. No one cares. No one simply cares. There are movies that have incredible CGI that no one wants to watch. If you believe that you're gonna sway people to your side of an argument by pointing out the CGI, you're just simply not. People have watched shitty CGI movies their entire life. Do you realize the audience for Marvel movies either grew up, they literally saw CGI become a thing, and it was always been shitty since Ghostbusters, so it's nothing new, or you're talking to kids who quite literally cannot tell the difference between good and bad CGI. There's just no group except pretentious people who give a fuck about the CGI. There just simply is not. There is not. So I'm gonna give you Marvel anti some advice. You have to find things people actually care about. When you are putting a hate campaign together, the hate campaign is only successful if you feed into people's already sneaking suspicion. You have to find the weakest link in the Marvel chain. You have to find it and you have to exploit it. That is how you run a successful hate campaign. Find the thing that they are already insecure about and exploit it. Find the thing that they can't even agree with. As someone who don't give a fuck about Marvel, who sees the movies they want to see, who don't see the movies they don't want to see, I can tell you what, I don't care about the CGI. People have been saying the CGI in Doctor Strange, the new Doctor Strange movie, is bad, and I promise you I don't care. I promise you I do not care. That does not affect me. I know this because I am a bystander. I am the person you are trying to sway to one side or the other. And sorry, CGI is not going to be the thing. I love the Black Widow movie, and I didn't even notice the CGI was bad until y'all showed the clips, and I was like, ooh, it was, but I already enjoyed it. I already gave Marvel my money. If I've already given Marvel my money, what? It's not doing nothing now. You have to find something that is going to actually bring down the Marvel thing. CGI is not going to bring down Marvel. It is simply not, because all they have to do is make one movie that has good CGI and all is forgiven. You have to find something that sticks, and you have to find something that you can exploit, and CGI is not it. Every time Marvel comes out with a movie, the CGI girls come out, ooh, Marvel got terrible CGI. This is what happened when you gotta put out 8 movies a year. And it's you're gonna have to find something better. You're gonna have to find something better than CGI. So Marvel antis, y'all are unorganized. One thing I hate the most is an unorganized campaign. If you watch ZOK's Patreon, he was talking about the Jack Harlow girls. I am not a part of the Jack Harlow hate campaign. I hate Jack Harlow, but I'm not a part of the campaign because it doesn't need me. When it comes to white rappers, they do not need me to hate them. They're gonna meet their demise. They're going to meet their demise. They do not need hate campaign. Jack Harlow does not need a hate campaign. He is going to meet his demise. But the hate campaign for Jack Harlow is unorganized, and that's another reason why I cannot be a part of it. We are fighting over Brandy and Ray J. When did we lose the plot? We need to be talking about how this white man music sucks. His music sucks. He makes it like a mockery of hip-hop. That's what we need to be talking about. We need to talk about how he relies on samples because he sucks. That's how you bring down a campaign. That's how you bring down someone. That is a campaign, an organized campaign. Exploit their weaknesses. But Brandy and Rage, it just look like you coming up with shit. It just look, even though you right, it look like you coming up with shit. I hate an unorganized campaign. The Marvel antis, y'all are unorganized. Y'all are unorganized. Marvel has not put out a good movie, if you ask me, since Endgame. If you asking me, like, to me, an objectively good movie, Endgame. An objectively good movie, Endgame. And yet y'all talking about CGI? You're unorganized. You're unorganized. Y'all should be picking these movies apart for their plot, for their acting, for their scripts. That's what y'all should be picking these movies apart by, showing people that these movies are fucking terrible. That's what you should be doing. But you know what you're talking about instead? CGI. No one cares about CGI. No one cares about CGI. People watch the shittiest movies on these streaming services that have the worst CGI you have ever seen in your freaking life, because no one cares about CGI. When you're in a movie, it all look the same. When you're in the moment, it all look the same. It's not till after the fact you see, ooh, the CGI was bad. Like, no one cares. No one cares. Come, be more organized. So now let's get into the Marvel lovers, the Marvel stans. Y'all have drank the Marvel juice and it's bad for y'all. Y'all have drank the Marvel juice and it's bad for y'all. Why are you sitting up on the internet arguing with everyone who has something negative to say about Marvel? You have to get a job. You have to get a job. Go take care of your kids, because I refuse to believe it's actual kids who are up online doing this Marvel stuff. It be y'all at y'all big ages. Y'all at y'all big ages are up online worried about it, people like Marvel movies. When Jamie Lee Curtis is on my shit list because she went against Will Smith during the slap. So I don't even got much for Jamie Lee Curtis, but Jamie Lee Curtis is in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And she was talking shit about Marvel movies, like da-da-da-da, Marvel movies suck, da-da-da-da. And all of y'all like, what is she talking about? Like, one thing, let's not act like the Marvel movies are good. Let's not act like Marvel is good. Let's not act like they have put out a movie in a long time better than Everything Everywhere All at Once. They haven't. So when you're sitting here like, what is she talking about? Don't act dumb. Y'all are delusional, and y'all make people not want to support y'all. Like, when I saw that, I knew I didn't want to see Doctor Strange. Like, I knew when the way y'all acted over that, I knew I did not want to see Doctor Strange, because the thing is, y'all kind of just like the antis, but in another way. When you defend anything, I can't take your word on all the stuff you defend. You get what I'm saying? When you will defend anything, I can't take your word on all the stuff you defend. Hear me out. I defend Miley Cyrus, right? Even in her bullshit, I stand by Miley Cyrus. I stand by bangers. I stand by bangers in all its problematicness. But what if I told you I also stand by Iggy? I also stand by Macklemore. I also stand by G-Eazy. I also stand by Jack Harlow. Then you can take nothing I say seriously. Because clearly I just have a problem. I do not care that white people appropriate black culture. That's what that would tell you. Instead of it just being a one-time thing, but hey, Miley's music was good, it turns into you just a coon girl. That's what it turns into. And that's how Marvel fans get. Instead of just defending a one shitty movie, like maybe you like one shitty movie, right? Maybe you like Eternals. Okay. But instead, you defend everything Marvel puts out. And so now I can't take nothing you say serious. There might be some truth in stuff you're saying, but I can't take you seriously, because every time a movie come out by Marvel, people don't like it. You in the comments defend it. So I can't take nothing you say seriously, right? And that's what y'all do. That's what y'all do. Y'all defend anything. Y'all defend anything. Y'all defend anything. If Doctor Strange was any type of good, the reviews would be better. Like, there are just some people, like, it don't matter what they do, it's gonna get probably positive reviews, right? So therefore, if it's getting like lackluster reviews, imagine how fucking bad it is. It's almost like when Meryl Streep does a project and she don't get nominated for an Academy Award. Like, imagine how fucking bad that performance had to be. Or if Viola Davis don't get nominated for an Emmy for something and she's in something. It's like, imagine how fucking bad that performance had to be for them not to give her an award. Or Denzel. Like, imagine how fucking bad it had to be. That's what it is. Because just off name alone, people are gonna go up. And that's what, like, so imagine, so when y'all defending that shit, it's just like, I like Black Widow, but if I also like Black Widow's Eternal, the new Doctor Strange, or whatever else the fuck they put out, then you gotta look at me like, girl, we all get messed. We all get to enjoy one flounder, minus Black Widow. But when you defend everything that Marvel doing, y'all gotta let the Marvel juice go. Y'all have to let the Marvel juice go, because now no one takes anything you say seriously. No one takes anything you say serious. Y'all have to start drinking the Marvel juice. Y'all have to stop drinking the Marvel juice, and y'all have to engage with this stuff critically. No one's saying you can't enjoy it, but you have to engage with it more critically. I am so sorry. I am so damn sorry. Like, it's absolutely annoying. So both sides are equally as annoying. Like, equally as annoying. The next thing, this you can tell my notes. So, why I put KK stop playing in dead people clothes? But I have some things. So Kim Kardashian, like, had on all of Marilyn Monroe's old clothes, and there's a few things that's bizarre about this. Number one, how are we supposed to feel? Anyone knows that Marilyn Monroe's clothes, awards, shoes, hair, eyelashes can get sold to the highest bidder. Like, at every auction, someone's selling something Marilyn Monroe-esque. So Kim wearing Marilyn Monroe's clothes, how are we supposed to feel except that she, like, got them from someone who bought them? Like, it's not like Marilyn Monroe herself came back from the dead and gave Kim her clothes. So, like, what exactly are we supposed to feel? Are we supposed to feel like she has clout? What are we supposed to feel about this? It's weird. Once again, the same thing happens to Aaliyah. The same way people pick apart the things that Marilyn Monroe wore and owned, people do the same thing to Aaliyah's music. They find old recordings of Aaliyah, they find songs of Aaliyah, and they put them in their songs. There's this idea of exploiting people even in death. And it's always the people who are exploited in living who continue to get exploited in death. It's the same people. It happens all of the time, and it's a lack of respect. They don't even realize, by thinking they're paying homage, by thinking they're showing respect, they're showing the complete opposite of it. It shows you that you're in love with an idea of a person. You're in love with the idea of a person, and you weren't in love with the person. You weren't in love with the artistry. The same people who will buy up all Marilyn Monroe stuff can't even, like, tell you her movies. Can't even tell you her movie. So they're in love with an idea of a person, and they're not in love with the full person. And this constantly happens, and it's weird and it's sickening. These people were real. You don't get to decide if Marilyn Monroe was a lesbian. You don't get to decide if Marilyn Monroe was asexual. Same thing, you don't get to decide things with Aaliyah. You don't get to decide these things. Unfortunately, these people died. And therefore, that's it. That's how the story was written. You don't get to rewrite their narrative or add things to the story because you feel it's not over. That's not how death works. Death don't work that way. Sometimes you depart earlier than you wanted to depart, and you don't get to now add things to their narrative. Kim Kardashian, stop playing in dead people's clothes. Yeah, that's all I got. That's literally all I got on that. The next thing I want to talk about is the content worth it. Is the content worth it? So everyone is on TikTok talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and I have a question. Is the content worth it? I could blame this on all the white women who are really in love with Johnny Depp, because here's the thing. If you follow me on Twitter for years, you know I've always been plugged in to what is going on between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And I've always told you one thing about me ain't no switching sides. I've always told y'all whose side I was on. But usually back in the day, so I know that the Johnny Depp propaganda has always been strong. Always been strong. That's how they were able to convince so many people what people are convinced of. But when, what am I about to say? And so now I don't even want to just blame this on random white women who are ridiculously in love with Johnny Depp. It's gotten bigger than that. There are people with regular platforms on TikTok, because that's where it's really rampant on TikTok, who are a part of this, who are just like making fun of Amber Heard, because that's really what it is. But I always say, like I said in my last video, follow me here. Let's follow you in your logic that makes no sense. Let's say that Johnny Depp was the one being abused. You realize you are still making commentary about an abuse victim? Like, let's stay with me. Like, please follow me. If Johnny Depp was the one abused, you're still making a mockery of someone being abused. Like, in both sides of this, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense what y'all up online doing. Like, that's the part that's blowing me. Like, you do realize, and that's how y'all kind of snitch on yourself, on who what you actually believe. Because if you really believed what you saying you believe, you wouldn't do what you're doing. The fact that you're doing, it shows you that you just simply do not care about Amber Heard. You simply do not care about women. You simply do not care. Like, it's showing you. And the crazy thing is, you can't say this on social media. You can't. You'll get doxxed to hell. You'll get doxxed to hell. Like, I almost have to be like proud of what Johnny Depp has been able to create if it wasn't so fucking nasty. Like, the coalition that Johnny Depp has been able to put together, like, you will get doxxed to fucking hell if you say something against that man. You will. You simply will. Like, there is nothing that you can do. But that's not even the point of what I was getting into this for. Is the content worth it? On TikTok, you have a bunch of people with a bunch of flop careers who are on TikTok hanging at, like, grasping at low-hanging fruit. The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial is such low-hanging fruit for content. It is such low-hanging fruit for content because you know exactly who you are going to appeal to, and they're going to give you what you want. And it's like, what's next? When the story is said and done and everything is written, you made fun of an abuse trial. You made fun of an abuse trial. No matter what side you're on, you made fun of an abuse trial. Was the little likes worth it? Was the 500 followers you gained from doing this worth it? Is it going to get you any movie roles? Is it going to get people to stream your music? Is it? The answer is no, it's not. No, it's not. And so it's like, and then the regular people who are doing it, it's like, you work at a call center, girl. Like, was the poppin' TikTok worth it? Was the poppin' TikTok worth it? Was it? Like, you, at the end of the day, you still got to go back to your call center tomorrow. One popular TikTok ain't paying nobody bills. Like, so was it worth it? Was it worth being so nasty? So nasty. It wasn't. It simply was not worth it. On both sides. Like, no matter what you believe, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's just simply not worth it. And that brings into social media also, like the social media accounts, like YouTube, social media platforms also being part of the problem. You cannot go on YouTube and not see the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. They want this to be a circus. They want this, and I know who's funding it. You know who's funding it all. But like, you can say you're not interested 50-11 times. I've unsubscribed to people on YouTube who are making content about it. I'm sitting here saying I'm not interested in the people who make content about it, and it still show up every single time. Every single time. I do not engage with a single thing about this trial. I do not. And yet, it still shows up. And it's just like, y'all are also responsible. Like, and that's the thing that's annoying about this. Once again, people will act like they're not. People will act like they're not responsible for the stuff that's going on. And they are. These social media sites are directly responsible for the things that are happening. That brings me to the people getting killed in Buffalo. When are these social media sites going to crack down on racism? When are they going to crack down on racism? I'm talking about Twitch. I'm talking about Reddit. I'm talking about Discord. I'm talking about Call of Duty stuff, online stuff. I'm talking about all of them. YouTube. I'm talking about Twitter. I'm talking about all these places where it is so easy to congregate and spread nastiness. I was talking about this with my partner. It is so easy to be radicalized. It's the reason why Kevin Samuels had so many fans. It's so easy to be radicalized on the internet. And like, I don't want to remove responsibility from the nasty people and that nasty boy who did what he did and all that. They're nasty. They're going to hell, period. But I'm trying to explain to you, let's say he is the ringleader. It is so easy for then someone else to be radicalized, right? Radicalization on the internet is so easy. It is so easy to convince the internet of anything. People will believe anything. This is so crazy. Okay, so I listened to Raven Elise's podcast, and she likes to do a fun fact at the beginning of her podcast. And she said that Goofy, you know Goofy from Mickey Mouse. She said Goofy was a cow. And she was like, fun fact, Goofy's a cow and Goofy's not a dog. But I looked up Goofy when she said it. I'm like, Goofy is a whole ass dog. Like, a Goofy is a whole ass dog. Like, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Goofy looks like a dog. Goofy acts like a dog. Goofy is a dog. And then I went on her Instagram and she was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I was so wrong. Goofy is 100% a dog and Goofy is not a cow. I can't believe someone said that on TikTok. And it's like, you see, like, that's stupid, like, obviously stupid, like, she should have just fact checked. But I want to use that example to see how easy it is for people to just say stuff on the internet and people just run with it. All you had to do, all my girl Raven Elise had to do was Google Goofy, and she see that's a whole ass dog with a whole dog ass face. A whole ass dog. But she didn't, and so she believed something. So take that small thing that is insignificant, I love Raven Elise, and bring that to something big. How people don't fact check, how people don't look up, how people... So when are the social media sites going to hold themselves accountable for spreading the bullshit that gets spread? When are they? When are they? The next thing that annoyed me is politicians. Politicians, voting is not going to save our life. You want to know what's going to save our life? Legislation. Getting guns off the street. And I don't mean more police. You have to come up with something quickly. It's not my job to come up with what needs to happen. I know police don't need to happen. Y'all have to get guns off the street. Y'all have to do some gun control. It is ridiculous. You're going to get shot. You have a better chance of getting shot than dying any other way. Like, you're going to get shot. You're going to get shot. And guess what? All of those people who died in Buffalo could have voted for Joe Biden. At the end of the day, they still got shot. Because voting does not save lives. Voting does not save lives. Y'all have to come up with something better. Y'all have to come up with something better than vote or die. Because, like, we're dying. We're voting and dying. We're voting and dying. Come up with something else. Please come up with something else. The next thing I have is Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow has to get off the news cycle. Like, and look at me aiding and abetting him. Like, Jack Harlow has to get out of the news cycle. I am sick and fucking tired of hearing about Jack Harlow. Like, I'm so... Now that his album is done, hopefully the press, like, goes away. Hopefully Jack Harlow goes away. Jack Harlow is an industry plant, and industry plants never go away. But, like, Jack Harlow has to go away. Like, I am so sick and fucking tired of hearing Jack Harlow. I just know because his album low-key flopped, him and his team are working and cooking up something else to get Jack Harlow back in our fucking faces. And I'm like, I do not want to hear it. I do not want to hear it at all. Like, oh my god, I'm so fucking sick of Jack Harlow. I don't care if Jack Harlow don't know who Brandy is. Like, oh my god, like, I'd rather Jack Harlow had known who Brandy is if it, like, gets Jack Harlow out of my fucking face. Did y'all see the TikTok of the black woman saying Jack Harlow makes them feel safe? Like, this is the stuff I have to stomach. You can like Jack Harlow all you fucking want, but please don't get on my internet and say Jack Harlow makes you feel safe. Like, what? What does that even mean? Everyone wants to be in their discourse back. I'm so glad my discourse days are over and done. I do not want to be in discourse anymore. Like, oh my god. Like, and that's the thing. I don't want to belittle my black sisters. That's why I never commented on the TikTok. Because it's just like, I don't want to be nasty. Because I get what she's trying to say. Like, niggas be talking reckless about black women and like stuff. But like, Jack Harlow is just a pandering fool. He's just a pandering fool. Like, you have to like, oh my god. We must separate admiration and love and genuine respect for pandering. Jack Harlow panders. That's why the City Girls are on tour with him. He panders. He is pandering, okay? Do not let pandering fool you. And I know some people just get it the way they get it, you know, whatever, all representation matters, whatever. But pandering. Jack Harlow panders, and I don't want it. I don't want the pandering, right? Black people need genuine safe spots, not just a cracker who was pandering to them. Netflix, baby. Netflix fired everybody. Netflix fired everybody. I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't just black people. Netflix fired everybody. Like, Netflix fired... I love it when a plan goes together. If y'all have been here a while, y'all know I have prayed. There are two things that I take full credit for. Almond milk. I got almond milk out of here. I told y'all years ago I was going to get almond milk out of here. And everyone that was in my fucking comments talking about some almond milk so good. Who drink almond milk these days? 3 of y'all. Everybody's on oat. And I told y'all to move to oat. I said it years ago. I take full responsibility for getting almond milk the fuck out of here. Chance the Rapper. I got Chance the Rapper the fuck out of here. Like, I feel bad for that one now. Like, at this point, Chance the Rapper, you can come back. You can come back, Chance. Do I want to listen to your music? No, but I feel bad. I feel bad for that campaign. But did it. I did that one. And third, I take full credit for the Netflix downfall. Netflix is broke as hell, but I've been told y'all that. Netflix been fucking broke. Netflix is on borrowed motherfucking time. Like, Netflix just never had money. They never had money. They were just cashing checks that they ass did not have. Like, I am so fucking sorry. They were stealing from Peter to pay Paul. And now the chickens are coming home to roost, and I don't know what to tell you. Netflix is done out here. Netflix is never going to be done because Netflix is a tech company, so they're always going to reinvent themselves in a brand new way. The reason Netflix demise is 100% losing all its IP. Netflix can never win the streaming war. Netflix is the reason why I couldn't come up with a streaming site now. I could come up with a streaming service right now and put out the best content you ever heard in your life, you've seen in your life, and I would not win the streaming war because I do not have the back catalog. Streaming is all about a back catalog. Netflix got big because of Prison Break, The Office, Desperate Housewives is on there. Like, they got Gossip Girl, stuff like that. The Netflix got big because of old IP, people going to watch old IP. But now, everyone came for their shit. Peacock came for their shit. HBO came for their shit. Showtime came for their, everybody came for their shit. And they want their shit back to put on their streaming service. So what does Netflix have? Because at the end of the day, you take things like Squid Game. Have you rewatched Squid Games? Have you rewatched Squid Games? After you've seen a season of Bridgerton, do you go watch Bridgerton again? What's a Netflix show? Grace and, I love Grace and Frankie. I've never rewatched the Grace and Frankie season. I'm thinking of Netflix originals that I like. Have you ever gone back and watched Orange is the New Black, the good seasons? No, you haven't. Like I like some Netflix shows, and even I don't go back to rewatch those Netflix shows. So what do they do in order to keep an audience? They have to hemorrhage money on new content. They have to constantly fund new content. But places like HBO Max don't have to do that. Places like Peacock don't have to. They have stuff. They have Friends. They have their old shows that people come just to go watch. I have somebody right now watching The Wire. Like, they're always going to have The Sopranos. They're always going to have the things that they've always had. The things that have built loyal fan base that people want to binge constantly. And that's why Netflix is losing subscribers, because the shows that people love, that people want to binge all of the time, they don't have anymore. They don't have. So that's where they're really, it's not because they fucking are canceling your fuck ass shows nobody watched. Like, they got canceled because nobody's watching them shits. Like, come on, be serious. But Netflix fired everybody and their mama, and the thing is, Netflix has a bad business model. Netflix has a bad business model. Like, they don't know how to create content. That's what I'm gonna say. Netflix does not know how to create content because they never were supposed to create content. Netflix was never supposed to have to create content. So now they're being forced to create content, and it's the worst fucking content you've ever seen in their life, and they can't compete with actual places that have actual studios that have created content. For HBO has done nothing but create content their entire time they've been HBO. So of course you can't compete with them. They make me, that's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. All they do is create content, you know? And so they can give all their good shows that they believe in, they put on HBO, and all their shitty shows they put on HBO Max. They have a great business model, and then they have their back catalog. Netflix don't have that. So what Netflix does is they throw millions of dollars into another Ryan Reynolds movie that no one wants to see, and then the movie does whatever it does. They act like it's the top 10 movie in the fucking world, and then it goes away. Just for them to do it all again. So of course Netflix don't have money. Netflix has to save all of their dollars that they do have and fund more shitty movies so you'll continue to watch their shitty movies. They have a bunch of shitty stuff hoping that shitty stuff sticks. They're underpaying creators who create this shitty stuff. It's only shitty because the people, they didn't get enough money to fund it. But they're not giving them enough money to fund the thing. Do you know how shitty I May Destroy You would have been if it got put on Netflix and not HBO? Do you know how shitty it would have been? Because Netflix does not value creativity. Netflix values dollars. They value, they value money. They value quantity, of course. That's all they care about. They care about quantity. They care about having more content. They care about having more subscribers. And that's just not a business model that can last. So everybody and their mama got fired the other day. Everybody in there, it's not surprising to me that the things that always get the shit in the stick got the shit in the stick. So all the diversity stuff, all the animation stuff, all the stuff that usually gets the shit in the stick got the shit into the stick, you know. It's so it goes. But Netflix, I prayed on your downfall. I feel bad for all the people who lost their job. Like, of course, like, no one wants that. But, like, I knew their business model was trash. Anyways, that's what's been annoying me. That's what's been on my mind. What's been on yours. I hope you guys have had a good week. And, yeah, see ya.